Hi my friends, CA here, and this week's book pick is the graphic novel The Case of the Missing Men, a Hobtown mystery story. This particular book is one of the ones that we picked up when we attended the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. I'll include a link to that if you happen to be in Toronto. From Conundrum Press, a Canadian publisher. So it's a new publisher to me, which is great. It was the author who was there who really sold me on it. Nancy Drew with a little Stranger Things, David Lynch-esque feel. I thought, how could I go wrong? And boy, am I glad that I picked it up. And even looking at the cover, it is sort of reminiscent of a Nancy Drew. When you're looking at a graphic novel, there's really two parts that you're looking at. It is kind of the artwork and how that contributes to the story, and it's the story. And not that you really can separate them, but they do have sort of different appeals to them. Similar to a Nancy Drew book, Dana, along with her friends, have created this after-school detective club, and they've worked together to solve mysteries in their small town. Missing dogs, misplaced keys, these types of things to help. But then they end up stumbling upon a bigger mystery, that there seems to be a number of men who have gone missing, and nobody thinks much of it. It started off just to try and find Sam's missing father, turned into stumbling upon all these other deaths or near-death experiences, as well as strange behavior. Then clearly the kids' lives seem to be at a risk as they start to be followed, as attempts are made on their life, because clearly they're getting closer to a secret. So the mystery part, that's kind of the Nancy Drew part. The other part gets into the Stranger Things, the David Lynch, the odd part of the book, where it is these weird creatures that appear, odd behavior, and they start to touch on hypnotism and brainwashing and an old wives' tale. As the story goes along, you get into the mystery, and then the mystery starts to delve into the strange until it gets really weird at the end. Unbelievably weird. And the ending itself was left like all things, like a Stranger Things or even David Lynch Twin Peaks, is left with a hint of, you've solved one thing, but have you solved it? Or have you solved the deeper issue? So there's hints in the illustrations of something bigger or something yet. You can't discount the illustrations in a graphic novel. Going through the story with the kids, it pulls away and you're focusing on the kid's story, but it's looking through binoculars. Somebody else is watching them. A great way to illustrate a different layer to the story, but even without dialogue, they can add to the whole feeling that you get in the story, the action or just the mood. But there's one illustration that I really loved in the book where there's no dialogue whatsoever. What appears to be a bush in the corner actually transforms into one of these men in the yellow raincoat, because you're looking for the first panel and you pay no attention until you get to the end, and you see, you kind of get a sense of, oh, is that what I think it is, until he's actually there. That whole panel had so much impact to me of that scene without words at all. That's this week's book pick, the graphic novel, The Case of the Missing Men, a great teen read if you have somebody who's interested in the odd, a little bit of a mystery twist. It'll be a perfect summer read. First time I've looked at stuff from Conundrum Press, and I'll probably take a look at some of the other pieces they put out. On Wednesdays, you can find me here talking about books for kids with a little bit of a geek twist, maybe books you hadn't considered for your own child's library, such as graphic novels or something produced by an independent publisher. If you like this content, like to see more content like it, be sure to give it a little thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of more content like this being published. And until next time, one to beam out. Woo!